Ian, you've been at the club a good number of years. You've seen the lows as well as the highs. At the moment in the league, the New Saints picked up just 1 point from 3 games. How do you feel about that personally?
It's not usual that we find ourselves in this position, but still 7 days to go. I'm sure there'll be lots of twists and turns before the end of the season. We're well versed in being in this situation, like I said, at this stage of the season. I suppose every game is now like a cup final, isn't it, really? And if we put in a performance like we did last weekend against Newtown, hopefully we'll be at the right end of the table.
Well, that was the next talking point. Get the 3 disappointing league games out of the way. It was back on track in style, a 6-1 victory for TNS.
Yeah, it was a great win, wasn't it, really, to be fair, and all credit to everybody who put in an excellent performance to get a 6-1 victory. I was pleased to see Dean Ebb get 4 goals in the first half, and really good win, and I'm sure that gave everybody much encouragement going forward then to the next 7 games, and hopefully, like I said, we'll be at the right end come the end of April.
And as the Chief Operating Officer, Ian, like the rest of us, you're looking on from the balcony on match days and not able to influence things other than in your mind, willing the team on to victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a fan like anybody else, and obviously watch the games with real intent over the 90 minutes and hoping that we get over the line with 3 points or a victory in the cup. And like I said, last weekend's result against Newtown puts us in the semi-final of the Welsh Cup. It's a competition that we've won on a number of occasions, obviously beating Connah's Quay last season 3-0. I think one of the finals that sticks out in my mind is the Aberystwyth final, going back a few years ago now at Wrexham, when we were 2-0 down and won that final 3-2. But obviously we got the semi-final game to get through before we get to the final. But yeah, everybody at the club's obviously pleased the fact that we've earned ourselves a semi-final place in what is one of the best cup competitions in the world.
And you mentioned 90 minutes of football, Ian, but from your own perspective and for those involved in the wider life of the New Saints, a match day is more than just 1.5 hours on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've just had a planning meeting now, actually going through how things went off the pitch on Saturday against Newtown, planning ahead for our game on Friday night against Barry and what we've got organised. A lot of that is centred around the fan engagement programme. And Wayne Greenshields, who's recently been appointed as our fan engagement manager, what work will be included prior to the game and after the game, encouraging local community groups to come to matches. And last weekend we had our under-12 girls team. They entertained Johnstown under-12 girls, so they had a bit of a kickabout beforehand. We also had a group of youngsters from the Marcher School in Oswestry, so they enjoyed their experience of playing on the pitch and stayed for the game. And we also had teams from Wrexham Inclusion and their counterparts in Northern Ireland who enjoyed some hospitality with us and also had their own tournament after the game. So with all of those community groups, it certainly helps to encourage more and more people to come to our games.
And how pleasing is it for you personally, Ian, having seen the club grow so much in your time with the New Saints, to see this wider network of people, whether it be from Northern Ireland or just up the road in Oswestry, coming along and becoming part of the wider TNS family, if you like?
I think it's an important piece of work for the football club. It's an ongoing project. We started the foundation over 5 years ago now, and it's grown considerably during that time. A lot of the focus around the projects that we're doing is to encourage all of those people that we're engaging with to come to games on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday evening. And we do a whole host of activities throughout the week. I think currently we've got 70 live sessions that we do in various locations. We have a great team of people who lead in various aspects of that work. I mentioned Wayne, obviously, with his engagement work, but Wayne also oversees the youth provision. So we have a number of youth clubs in the locality. We run youth groups in Western Ryn and St Martin's and Gobowen. We also do a number of holiday activities throughout the year. And we have Jimmy O'Reilly, he oversees that programme for us. So every school holiday, you'll see lots of activities in and around Oswestry. We've also recently expanded that programme into Welshpool as well, which is important for us. And that really came on the back of some work that we were doing locally with Welshpool girls and encouraging more girls to join Welshpool Girls Club. So we're very much a facilitator in terms of enabling those community groups to grow in terms of participation. So it's very much a vital part in what we do. We have a number of school projects. I mentioned the Marches School. We're down there on the Saturday, but we have a number of contracts with local primary schools. So whether that's organising activity during the school day for CPD for teachers, or running after school clubs or breakfast clubs. Sean oversees that programme for us, and that's grown considerably over the past 12 to 18 months. We have Shelley who works tirelessly in the community looking at disability groups. She's also qualified to do postural stability, so looking at those people who are vulnerable, I suppose, in the community, and looking after them and organising activities for them on a regular basis. So there's a lot going on, certainly.
And as you mentioned there, Shelley and her work, it's not just young people, but it goes, you could say, from the cradle to the grave in terms of the coverage and the work and the involvement in the community.
Absolutely, yeah. We cater for everybody. We've got Tom Rowlands, who's recently come on board with us as our community football manager. So he organises Diddy Saints for the very young players within the club, Mini Saints, Junior Saints, and we've also recently started an all ability group on a Friday evening, looking at those with additional needs. So yeah, it's very much a programme there to cater for everybody.
And Jill Jones, of course, heads up the foundation work as the manager. Yourself, Ian, as the Chief Operating Officer of the club, how much of your time is spent with the foundation, and in what type of role would you be involved?
I suppose I work alongside Jill in terms of looking at how the programme works, how it operates, how it's managed. And I suppose one of the important things that we want to achieve, I suppose, from the club's point of view, is how can we engage with those people and encourage those people that we are engaged with to come to games. So that's a challenge for us, like it's a challenge, I suppose, for every other football club within the Cymru Premier. How do we encourage more people to come along to our games? So it's that sort of conduit, I suppose, approach to see how can we join those things together to ensure that not only are those individuals enjoying the activities outside of the club, but how do we then encourage them to come along to watch the team play on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday evening.
You mentioned the birth of the foundation. I was at the club when the chicken first pecked its beak through the egg, so to speak, and came into the world. It has grown considerably since then, and those looking on from perhaps outside the club and not necessarily involved would be surprised at the growth of the foundation. But it's true to say, Ian, that it is part of a projected long-term strategy that brings us to where we are now.
Absolutely, yeah, and every football club has that kind of organisation within it, and I think it's an important part of what we're about. And like I say, we want to encourage all of those people that we engage with to come to games, not only as a one-off visit, but we want to retain them for supporters going well into the future years. So that's an important and integral part of what we're about as a club, looking to encourage, like I say, all of those people to come and watch the team play and enjoy the success that we have as a football club.
And finally, as we look to the future with the foundation, what are the plans to take it to the next level?
I think we want to continually grow the programmes that we've currently got on offer. Recently, we had the funding for the fan engagement project that we've recently undertaken. We've refurbished part of the venue to offer a facility for local supporters to come and enjoy the facilities on a match day. We want to continue to extend our education programme. We want to increase our youth provision, what we're doing for youngsters during the school holidays, and hopefully grow the numbers. I think that's what it's about. There's thousands of people out there locally who perhaps aren't currently part of what we're about, and hopefully if we can encourage more and more people to be involved in the variety of activities that we coordinate through that programme, then it's not only going to be good for them from a health point of view, and from encouraging them to be active and I suppose all of the things that we want people to do, but having that link with the football club, and hopefully they'll be our supporters going forward in the future.
I did say finally, but like Colombo, I'm coming back one more time. Funding, obviously the club itself has a financial investment in the foundation, but you mentioned those from external, the funders. How important are they in terms of the ongoing work of the foundation?
Yeah, I think it's a vital part, isn't it? And you mentioned Jill. Jill Jones is our foundation manager, and Jill works really tirelessly in terms of finding those pockets of money that are available out there to make all of the things happen. And without Jill being able to locate where she can find and access that money, then a lot of the activities that we put on for people locally just simply wouldn't happen. The foundation is a company in its own right. It's got charitable status, so there are huge benefits in having that, which like you said, enables us to go and access and open doors which perhaps as a football club we couldn't do. But the important thing from our point of view is that the football club works very closely with the foundation to ensure that local people are actively involved in not only football but a multitude of other activities, whether it's cricket, whether it's rugby, or whatever the sport is or the activity is. As a club and through the foundation, we're able to provide that for them.
Ian, as always, thank you for giving us the insights into what goes on behind the scenes at the New Saints.
Thank you.